My name is Brittany Bailey. I'm a member of the Mahoning Valley Sojourn to the Past, and I want to welcome you all here tonight, or this evening, because it is getting a little dark. I want to start out by saying that only 20 issues led by petitions have been added to the Ohio Constitution, and 106 have been added by the General Assembly. Voting is an integral part of our democracy in our country. It guides the hands that lead and leads the people to success or failure. A man named Vernon Damer was murdered by the Klan for his actions in paying the poll tax for black people who wanted to register to vote in 1966. He said, if you don't vote, you don't count. And I'm saying, if you don't vote in this coming election, you won't ever get the chance to count again. A real failure of our state would be if Issue 1 were to pass, as it will be detrimental to the voting power of voters like you and me. Ohio political parties have had reputations on being combative with each other, but the impending issue has caused many people's ideologies to align, no matter what political party they associate with. Instead of voicing my opinion, I would like to state the current ideas of the previous governors. John Kasich, a Republican, has said, Ohio is stronger when we can all lend our voices, and we all have an equal chance to participate in our state's democracy. I've witnessed firsthand having policies backed and a majority of the legislature's members overturned at the ballot box, and it never occurred to me to limit Ohioans' right to do that. It would never have been right then, and it isn't right now. Ted Strickland, a Democrat, stated, Issue 1 shows a total lack of respect for the Constitution of our state, and it is a power grab. It is an effort to give 40% of the people in Ohio the right to control the other 60%. It is a blatant attempt to prevent women from making their own reproductive choices. If the state question gets approved, it would further change Ohio as we know Ohio. Bob Taft, a Republican, has said, such a democratic change in the Ohio Constitution should not be accomplished in an extremely low turnout election. He is referring to the fact that Ohio special elections, on average, have had lower voter turnouts, so placing such an important issue with a huge impact in a low traction situation is intentional. It's undemocratic. It is disgusting knowing Ohio voters are unlikely to show up. Finally, Dick Celeste, a Democrat, said, I'm stunned by the hypocrisy of this issue. 1 or 2 small counties could block the effort to put a serious issue on the ballot. It's clear that what they're trying to do is muzzle the voice of the people. As I said, a real failure of our state would be if Issue 1 were to pass. I implore you all to go against the trend of not voting in this special election on the 8th, and I encourage you to vote no.
Yeah!
Hello. Thank you all for joining us today. Can you guys hear me good? Okay. I am very grateful to have you here. My name is Miah Pierce. I am 20 years old. I am a Youngstown Grand Early College graduate. I received my high school diploma and my associate's degree in liberal arts in 2021, and I am now attending Youngstown State University. I will be graduating in December. I am studying social work with a double minor in sociology and communications. This field is very important to me because of the work that I will be doing. My goal is to speak life into people and encourage them to stand up for what is right, not only for themselves, but for others around them. I will not be before you all long, but I do want to educate and inspire your minds. Something that I'm the proudest of being a part of is Sojourn to the Past. Sojourn to the Past has taught me the importance of hard work, dedication, and heart. Having heart for the people. This is why voting no on Issue 1 is mandatory. I'm just going to give you a few pointers about what Issue 1 is. I did some research on this topic, and I gathered information from Jennifer Rodriguez, a news reporter from WKBN. If passed, it will make it harder for voters to change the Constitution of the state of Ohio. This is because any newly proposed constitutional amendment placed on statewide ballot would require at least a 60% approval vote to pass. Currently, a majority vote is 50% plus 1 is needed. Issue 1 ends majority rules. That means just 40% of voters can block any issue, putting 40% of voters in charge of decision-making for the majority. Issue 1 shreds our Constitution. It would permanently undo constitutional protections that have been in place for over 100 years to check politicians' power at the ballot box. Issue 1 takes away years of freedom. It would destroy citizen-driven ballot initiatives as we know them, guaranteeing that only wealthy special interests could advance changes to our Constitution. Issue 1 applies to all issues. If this amendment is passed, it will apply to every single amendment on any issue Ohioans will ever vote on. Just 40% of voters will decide. Fannie Lou Hamer, an American voting women's rights activist, and was the vice chair of the Freedom Democratic Party, which she represented at the 1964 Democratic National Convention, once said, "Is this America, the land of the free and the home of the brave? Living as decent human beings is not too much to ask for, and having a say-so on what will be done is not either." If issue 1 is passed, just like Mrs. Hamer, I too question Ohio. Please understand your power. If your vote did not count, they would not go to the furthest extent to take it away. They fear those with knowledge, and they control those without it. Vernon Damon was an American civil rights movement leader and president of the Forest County chapter of the NAACP in Hughesburg, Mississippi. He was murdered by the White Knights of the Ku Klux Klan for his work on helping Black Americans to vote. He would say, "If you do not vote, you do not count. So therefore do not complain if you are not willing to use your voice to make change." I leave you all with this. Please remember how far we have come. Do not stop the marathon now. Fight for your people. We, the people, will get through any circumstance standing strong together. Do not fear the power that you hold, and do not forget it. When I met John Lewis, an American civil rights leader and politician, he was best known for his work in the civil rights movement with the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. I promised him that I will be getting into good trouble and staying in good trouble. So please, join me in making change for the better. As he would say, do not get lost in a sea of despair, but be hopeful and please be optimistic. Thank you. Our next speaker is from the League of Women Voters, Kathy Gaige.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kathy Gaige. I'm the chair of the Voter Services Committee for the League of Women Voters in Greater Youngstown. And I'm very happy to represent our group to talk to you tonight about why the League took a vote no stance on this issue. The League is a nonpartisan organization. We never support or endorse candidates, and we only take positions on issues that affect our core purposes, which are number 1, to empower voters, and number 2, to strengthen democracy. And we've determined that issue 1 would disempower voters and would weaken democracy. In the current arrangement, we have to get tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of signatures from all across Ohio to get issues that a lot of people think are important voted on by all the people. We have to get, this year I think it was over 310,000 signatures. And if you look at a spread of 44 counties, you have to have some big counties in there because that's where most of the people live. But you also have to have rural counties. You have to have suburban counties. You have to have people who live in counties where the voting age skews old, where the voting age skews young. It's a good cross-section of Ohioans, and it's a high bar to meet. And if issue 1 is approved, that would extend to all 88 counties. And as the previous speaker said, if there was one county where they couldn't get the minimum number of signatures because they opposed the issue or they weren't interested in the issue, that very tiny minority of voters could prevent all the rest of us from voting on something that is important to people in 87 counties. And so I can't think of a better definition of voter disempowerment than that. And also, it disempowers people because, of course, of the 60% pass rate. We think that majority rules is important, and if majority doesn't rule, then that's disempowering voters. It also weakens democracy. Citizens' initiatives are the one tool we have in this state to bring issues of importance to a broad swath of people directly to the voters, issues that the Ohio General Assembly disregards. It's the one tool we have. And if it is weakened or destroyed by this, that tool goes away. And we lose the political power that goes with it. And in the real world, political power, if you lose it, it just doesn't dissipate. It ends up getting transferred to something else. And in this case, it would be transferred to the Ohio General Assembly, which already has significant and sufficient powers. Now, our fellow Ohioans who are on the vote yes side of this have chosen as their slogan, protect our Constitution. And I want to know protected from what? Yeah. Protected from who? Yeah. Protected from election results in which the majority carries the day. The same rule that has been in effect since 1912 that has worked very well for Ohioans. Ohioans have not abused this petition process. So, and you know, they've made a very strong case that we need 60% in order to amend the Constitution, but a week from today, they will be very happy if issue 1 passes by a simple majority. So I hope you all see the irony in that. So we have a week left, and I know everybody's worked hard on this, but I'm going to challenge all of us to think of 10 people in your life that you haven't talked to yet about this, and reach out to them in the next week. Find out if they know about the election, find out if they've decided how they're going to vote, or even if they're going to vote, and then if they're open to persuasion, share why you're voting no, and try to encourage them to vote no as well. I have some literature I'm going to just pass around, and each of you can take a few of them, and then if you run into people this week that you want to give a little information to, you'll have it. So thank you very much. And I would like to introduce Jaladah Aslam from the MLK Planning Committee.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Vote no. No. Not just no, but hell no. No. Not just no, but hell no. No. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Thank you so much. My name is Jaladah Aslam. Listen, this is real simple. If you're here, you already supported no vote on issue 1. The reality is we need to make sure that we tell everyone else to get out and vote. Early voting has been extended this week. The Board of Elections doesn't close until 8:30 tonight. They're open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Saturday, the board is open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And Sundays from 1 o'clock till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's what we call Souls to the Polls Sunday in the Valley. Hey! Make sure that you tell your friends, your neighbors, your network, your co-workers, everyone that you know that we need them to get out and vote. The reason we have this August 8th special election is that they're banking on us not showing up to vote, okay? And so if you're here, you're already on board. I don't need to talk to you about how horrible this is. I don't need to talk to you about how Constitution is supposed to protect our rights, not take rights away from us. So please make sure that you tell everyone. We've all got cell phones. We live in the smartphone age. Text 10 people. Put it on your social media platforms. Vote no on issue 1, August 8th. The hours of voting at the Board of Elections, and of course, if they have not made it by then, Tuesday, August 8th, all day, from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. I sound like a commercial. This is all I talk about. This is all I've been talking about for 3 weeks. because this is about our future. I'm going to be okay. But I don't know that some of the younger people here will. I don't know that these beautiful children will. I don't know that their children will. We've got to stop this madness before it gets any worse. So vote no and tell everybody you know to vote no. Who's next? You're next?
Yeah.
Sure?
John Rhodes.
John Rhodes, everybody, give him some love. Woo.
Good afternoon. My name is John Rhodes, and I'm a member of Mahoning Valley Sojourn to the Past, and I'm a rising freshman at Emory University. Our state legislature is currently engaged in an anti-democratic power grab. In raising the threshold for approving state constitutional amendments from a simple majority to a supermajority, they are taking away one of the voters' most valuable opportunities to influence public policy. Currently, the state legislature is unnecessarily powerful. They're already able to overrule the results of another kind of citizen-led ballot initiative, the initiated statute. We cannot afford to allow the constitutional amendment process to be taken away from us the way it has been for the initiated statute. To put it simply, the state legislature is asking Ohio voters to critically weaken one of our most vital tools in making our elected officials work for us and not the special interests. The red flags for Issue 1 have been clear and numerous. The General Assembly knew voters would reject Issue 1 if there was high voter turnout, so they hid Issue 1 in an August special election. If Issue 1 truly strengthened democracy as the state legislature insists it does, why would they put it up for election in an off year in August, when people are preoccupied with vacation and back-to-school preparation? They thought we wouldn't turn out to vote. Now we have to prove just how wrong they were. There's another reason Issue 1 is up for election this August. An amendment enshrining the right to reproductive autonomy is set to be on our ballots this November. And, it's set to be on our ballots this November. Social conservatives know that a majority of Ohioans are pro-choice. Issue 1 isn't really about strengthening democracy. It's about ensuring that a minority of the populace are able to prevent access to an important human right. The consequences of Issue 1 passing encompass all policies which a majority of the voters support, but which the General Assembly refuses to enact. Foremost among these policies are potential anti-gerrymandering amendments. Last year, the General Assembly proved that even the Ohio Supreme Court is able to restrain state legislators from drawing maps that keep themselves in power indefinitely. We need a vigorous, nonpartisan, anti-gerrymandering amendment passed to ensure that the people pick the representatives and not the other way around. However, if Issue 1 passes a week from today, it becomes much more difficult for such an amendment and many other worthwhile amendments to get on the ballot and garner enough votes to pass. Supporters of Issue 1 cite our federal Constitution as evidence that a supermajority ought to be required to amend the Ohio Constitution. However, there are two key reasons why this argument falls flat. First, the federal Constitution deals with bedrock institutions and liberties like the freedoms of speech, press, and assembly, whereas the Ohio State Constitution is often confronted with specific policy issues like setting bail. Second, our state government, by virtue of its smaller scale and closer proximity to voters, ought to be more easily influenced by the opinion of the people. This is why in at least 40 states currently, a simple majority is all that's required to pass an amendment. Do not allow the General Assembly to overturn 111 years of state constitutional precedent and dilute the power of your vote. Vote early in person, vote on election day, or request an absentee ballot. You don't need to provide a reason for your request. Tell your friends and family members to vote against Issue 1. If people are made aware of the danger Issue 1 poses to their rights, defeating this amendment is certainly within reach. The next speaker I'd like to introduce is a representative of the Seal Valley Reproductive Freedom Coalition.
I'm Mandy Fehlbaum. I'm with Steel Valley Reproductive Freedom Coalition. And let's be honest here, why are they doing this in the first place? This is because they hate people who get pregnant. I mean, they're happy for people to get pregnant, but they hate people who want to have a choice that way. So the reason why this is even happening is because they saw, after Dobbs was overturned, that people were upset about it and they wanted to pass even more draconian legislation about people's bodies and weren't able to do it successfully. So they decided, let's have an August special election. And they keep claiming that they have to protect the Ohio Constitution from outside forces, which is very ironic because the anti-choice people called Protect Ohio Women is run by out-of-state people. And they are putting $5 million into an ad buy within this next week. So you're gonna get slammed with all of these vote yes ads. And what you need to do is stand firm in what you believe and tell people to vote no. Don't let them buy into all the hateful rhetoric that they're gonna hear in these commercials saying like that they're gonna take parents' rights away or try and make all the kids trans or stuff like that. It's ridiculous. So stand firm in your belief that you need to vote no, that everyone should vote no on issue 1, and stay tuned to vote yes in November. So thank you very much. Our next speaker is Representative McNally.
Representative. So as your state representative, the first thing I want to do tonight is apologize. Apologize that we are standing here dealing with this issue, an issue that started at the state legislature, that should have died at the state legislature. A state legislature, mind you, that has been called the most corrupt state legislature in the country by the FBI. And now they want full power. So, I'm going to tell you what I think issue 1 is about. Issue 1 is about cheating. Yep. By cheating, the Republican Party gerrymandered Ohio to take control of both the House and the Senate. By cheating, the Republicans changed the voting laws, giving them total control of the executive and judicial branches of government. And now, by cheating, they want to take away your voice, giving them total control of the state of Ohio. If issue 1 passes, your voice will be silenced. That is the only opportunity left for fighting back. Right now, through a ballot initiative, you can challenge and change laws with a 51% majority of the people. If the power-hungry Republicans behind issue 1 get their way, it would now take 60% of the people to defeat legislation that harms women, children, and families. We cannot let them turn back the hands of time, so let's say no to cheating. Don't lose your voice. Vote no on issue 1. Republicans are putting a lot of misleading information about issue 1 out there to confuse the people and make you think it's good for you. But trust me when I say that if you want to protect your rights to freedom, liberty, and justice, you want to vote no on issue 1. Vote no to protect your freedom today. Vote no to protect your freedom tomorrow. Vote no to protect your right to protest injustice. Vote no to protect your civil rights. Vote no to protect the people's voice. So on August 8th, just vote no. Yeah, I will now introduce Natalia McRae. Oh, and Chris, we have a lot of, the work's not done. We have a week left. So Chris Anderson, chair of our Democratic Party, has a list of things that you guys can still do to get involved right across till the finish line. Nothing.
So thanks everybody for coming out. Like Lauren said, I'm Chris Anderson. I'm your County Democratic Party chair. So I wanted to first take a second to thank you all. I know that it's the middle of the summer. This is the last thing that anybody wanted to do. I'm sure that you're every bit as outraged that you have to canvass in 100-degree heat as everybody else is. So we do have some outstanding events that are coming up. On Wednesday, we have a phone bank that launches from the Mahoning County Democratic Party headquarters, as well as a canvass. We're specifically trying to get back the absentee ballots from people that we know are going to vote our way. So it's kind of an all-hands-on-deck effort. Saturday, we have a canvass that launches from Westside Bowl at 10 a.m. Same thing on Sunday, except it's from the Mahoning County Democratic Party headquarters. And then on Monday, we'll be doing the same thing Monday night. We're going to go right up until the finish line. I know I don't have to lecture anybody here, but this is our last check on one of, like Lauren said, the most corrupt state legislature in the country. That's not my words. That's not Lauren's words. That's the FBI's words. Take a second and think about that. 99 state reps? The FBI says that they're the 99 most corrupt people in the country when they all get together. Let's be honest. Do you want them to have full control of your government? I know I don't. They've tried to make this a complicated issue, and really what it boils down to is this is about the freedom to address your government. This is your last check. They sit in districts they drew themselves. They tell the Ohio Supreme Court, we don't care what you have to say. If Mike DeWine actually had the backbone to veto anything, which he doesn't, but they would still override it. This is it. This is all you've got. So, like you've heard so many times today, get your friends out to vote, go vote yourself, and again, preserve the last check that we have on this legislature. And I'll close with this. When Doug Jones was here during the 22 election, he came up to me and he said, "You guys seem hell-bent to turn yourselves into Alabama. This is the fast track for Ohio Republicans to get you there." So that in and of itself is reason alone to vote no. So again, thank you all so much. Thank you for being here. I don't remember the name of the last speaker. I'm so sorry. There she is. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. Sorry.
Can you hear me? All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Natalia McRae. I'm a rising third-year student at Youngstown State University, and I'm currently majoring in social work. I want to start off by thanking everybody for coming out today and sticking with us until the end. I also would like to thank Penny Wells of Mahoning Valley Sojourn to the Cast for allowing us all to be here today and for giving our youth a platform to be able to speak on topics like this when people don't think that we can or we will. I also would like to thank John Rhodes for proposing this idea while we were in Mississippi. I would also like to thank Miah Pierce, Brittany Bailey, Anaya Brooks, and myself, Natalia McRae, for being our youth and for speaking for Youngstown, Ohio. We are showing up and we are showing out. We are all here, and they think that we won't show up. They think that we won't be there to vote. But will we? Yeah! Will we? Yeah! That's right. I would also like to say that if you don't vote, you don't count. That was a quote by Vernon Damer, and that followed him to the grave. He was killed in the 60s by the KKK for helping blacks pay the poll tax in order to vote. He, like many, got us all here where we are today. Not just blacks, not just whites. Look around. We're all here united, together, standing together in unison. That is why it is imperative that we not only vote today, we not only vote tomorrow, not just August 8th, not just for issue 1, but every single election. Because if you don't vote, you do not count. For those that may not be super political like myself, let me simplify this for you all. Since the beginning of time, everybody was taught in school, starting in kindergarten, that majority rules. So why change it now? To fit some agenda? Imagine if you were told that 40% of the class trumps the 60% of your classmates
outside for recess instead of indoor playtime. Imagine how you would have felt as a little kid that because 10 of your classmates want to stay inside, the other 20 of us have to stay inside. Majority rules. Now, I don't mean to make this sound like a light matter or to make it sound like it's not important, because it is. But this is how simple it is. This is not a complicated matter. This is not a complicated topic. Let me put it even more plainly. Issue 1 is unfair. Issue 1 is unjust. Issue 1 is unpopular. Issue 1 is undemocratic. And issue 1 is simply unnecessary. Vote no on issue 1 on August 8th. Thank you. Miss Wells, would you like to come up?
Can you come up and give us a few words?
No, I
Please.
just thank everybody.
Oh, she thank you all.
Yes, Miah, just thank everybody for coming.
Thank you all